Hey guys, welcome to Sci-Fi Guy. This is Will. This is your Sci-Fi Guy, and we're talking fat phobia. We're talking fat Thor, chubby Thor, beefy Thor, big Thor, as a sort of jumping off point. A jumping off point about sort of the lack of or the disparity in beefy, chubby, bigger characters, heroes and villains in the Marvel and DC universe, in the comic book universe, or I guess just in sci-fi in general, just in, the larger sort of landscape of sci-fi and fantasy. And of course, Fat Thor, I would imagine, is the really kind of almost a standard now, since Thor was always, the muscular to, a strong man, the god, the Asgardian, not the Asgard, but the Asgard, the Asgardian hero. And of course, in Endgame, though, after Infinity War, Thor gets depressed and he gains weight. This is from IndieWire. It says that Fat Thor was dubbed on the internet, but not everyone was laughing at Thor's new look. Chris Hemsworth, revealed in a new Variety cover story that the script originally had Thor revert back to his muscular physique midway through Endgame, but that he fought to keep Fat Thor present through the entirety of the film. He says, "I enjoyed that version of Thor. It was so different than any other way I played the character, and then it took on a life of its own." So I guess, people really kind of took to Fat Thor. He wasn't just, a comedy, thing, a skit, or a visual. He wasn't only a fat joke, so to speak. And then Chris Hemsworth goes on to say that he realized the film could make a point about happiness existing outside of body image if Thor's large appearance never went away during the runtime. He did say, though, his experience with wearing the fat suit, it was a 90-pound silicone belly that they applied on him. He says, quote, "People kept coming up and cuddling me like a big bear or rubbing my belly like I was pregnant, trying to sit on my lap like I was Santa Claus. You get a lot of affection. I felt like an old man, an old grandpa with a bunch of kids around. But then you get sick of it when people come up and grab your belly." So again, you're looking at a guy who all throughout all the Marvel movies, I guess in his prime when he was, in say school, college, whatever, he was always a fit guy. So now for Endgame, for Thor, he had to become Fat Thor with a big belly. So that's, my jumping off point. But the larger issue, of course, is, as we know as fans, there's just not the ratio of sort of the good guys, the superheroes, to villains that are big, that are the big, beefy, chubby guys. The only ones I can think of offhand, the big guys, of course, are the Blob from the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and Kingpin, both villains. Now, Juggernaut, I wouldn't call, well, he is big, so you say he could qualify too. Juggernaut, another, depending on the comics or the cartoon or whatever, he's depicted as being just a big dude, like a big burly dude, or just a massive, muscular dude in a way. But then he looks pretty chubby too in a way, a belly. The point is, he's another villain, right? So now in DC, those are all Marvel. In DC, you have Bouncing Boy. And Bouncing Boy is a good guy, and he's a chubby guy. Sort of, almost like a bouncing ball. They call him Bouncing Boy, almost like a rubber made of rubber inflates. So you got him. But other than that, I'm at a loss. Maybe you guys can, comment. I can't think of any other superhero that's big, other than Fat Thor then. Now, they say in the comics, I guess, throughout Thor's run in the comics, he's gained weight and maybe got depressed and, became a big drinker or eater and kind of, threw away his exercise schedule. But I think, again, the larger issues too is like, well, why can't there be a chubby, a big, beefy superhero, existing and not being depressed, not being an alcoholic? He or she is just a bigger person. Now, in the new Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, I saw the trailer, an ad. I haven't seen the film yet, but there's one of the, Shazammers, one of the good guys who has, I guess, the Shazam power. I'm not that familiar with Shazam, but he's a big, chubby guy. And yet, when he gets the power, he becomes this, physique to die for, this muscular physique. So, well, why can't the power come into him, and why can't he still have a chubby physique? Again, I'll make a real point of being clear. I'm not talking about morbid obesity. I'm not talking about super, super obese, super fat. I'm talking about 25, 30 pounds, whatever. Or just a chubbier build. I think that's also, a point. You've got people who have bigger, stockier, chubbier, brawnier builds, and so they're just meant to be, or genetically predisposed to being a bigger person. Yet we seem to always see them in villain form, like Blob and Kingpin, even Doctor Doom. Oh, and Dr. Octopus, there's another one. Dr. Octopus is always this chubby guy, a chubby build. He's a villain. And, again, it's like I'm racking my brain. Where are the chubby superheroes other than Fat Thor or Bouncing Boy? So I was saying, right, the idea is, why can't these chubbier characters be good and not have to, become depressed like Thor in an Endgame and to gain weight? So there you go, guys. Give us your feedback. Tell me what you think about it. I think it's high time they had bigger, chubbier builds as a superhero. They've got a bunch in the supervillain arena. They got a bunch of the bad boys as chubby, villains. Why not the good guys, other than Fat Thor being, a depressive alcoholic and gaining weight? Subscribe if you can. Just hit the subscribe button. It is free, quick, and painless. We appreciate. Hope you're enjoying. Live long and prosper, and we'll see you soon.